Hello, everybody. Welcome to Live with Georgia. I am early today. I decided to give myself some time to make sure that everything was working technically right. And it is. Welcome, welcome. Tonight, it's $10 for one question. I read the tarot. Here are the tarot cards. What I do is I tap into my intuition. I have a database of understanding of the symbolism in the cards. And when you ask a question, I do two things. I tap into my intuition, and then I look at the card and see what jumps out. And that's what we're going to do tonight. If you want to ask a question, send some money to $10 for each question, or per person usually, because we often answer many questions for one person. Send it to georgiamarantos@gmail.com if you have PayPal. Venmo is at Georgia-Marantos. And I also have the link in the comment box, but also in the description for my website store, so that you can click the link and go straight to pay with your credit card. 100% of tonight's proceeds will go to the Friends of Creacon program. The link is in the description, but I will also add it here because I think it's really important that you know where your money is going. The Friends of Creacon program is a program set up by Creacon Wellness Retreat in Ireland, and that program is an energy exchange. So when you send your money to Friends of Creacon program, the incredible energy that this wellness retreat center is emanating for the whole world is back to you. And so you enjoy that nurturing, loving connection with Mother Earth, and a very, very calm, a stable presence, very grounded presence. You enjoy that in return. So I will be gathering all the monies that we have gathered over the last month, so all of April and all of May, and I'll be sending that in. And every single person who has contributed will have their name in the email that I send to the Creacon Wellness Retreat staff, so that we energetically and intentionally know who is receiving the exchange. So it's win-win for everybody, right? A couple of people or whoever come on, the people who are asking the questions, they receive energy from that incredible place called Creacon Wellness Retreat. And in fact, I was trying to find it and then got distracted by myself. Here we go. Friends of Creacon program. I'm going to send you the information. Oh, Friends of Creacon, here we go. And so you will have the information if you click on this link and you're curious. I hope that's right. There it is. Does anybody have a question? Let me know if you are watching. There are 4 people here. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Keyless. Very nice to meet you. Welcome to my show. We've been running for a year now, and every week we go through one major arcana, or right now we're going through the court cards. We're pretty much coming to an end. Rebecca, hello. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to have you here with me. Thanks, Rebecca. Rebecca Suzanne Scott is an incredible master healer and teacher. She and I exchanged, she gave me, facilitated Rising Star Healing for me today, and it was amazing. I could feel the energy working through my body. I felt so calm. I felt so rested, and and really felt very, very grateful. And at the end of it, I got an amazing, amazing reading with the healing. So Rebecca Suzanne Scott, if anybody wants a Rising Star healing, please contact Rebecca. Let me see if I can get some information. Rising Star Healing System. We've got it here. If you want to know more about the Rising Star Healing System, I'm going to provide you a link right here. So, Keyless, I'm doing readings. I am asking for people to send in $10 in exchange for the tarot reading. And this is 100% actually tonight, and as has been for the last 2 months, I'm sending all the proceeds to Friends of Creacon program. And if you click the link that I provided about Friends of Creacon, you'll find out what Friends of Creacon is. So your money will go directly to help them and also help you, because it's an exchange program where you send in money and you receive amazing healing energy. So let me know if you've paid for a reading. You can use PayPal, Venmo, or with the credit card on my website. I've provided all the links, and I'd be very happy to tell you if your Aries will propose to you. At least I will tell you what the cards read. at least I will be able to tell you what energy is you're holding, what vibration you're holding, and whether or not you're tapping into that unlimited potential that sits in. We're all sitting in this vast, unlimited potential universe, right? And the way we vibrate and the way we connect to that is how quickly and easily we manifest that which we desire. Because the minute you set the desire off, apparently that matrix is happy to send it back to you. But if your vibration is not in alignment with the source, right? If it's not in alignment and vibrating with that source energy, then there's no communication, right? Ali, hello, welcome back. You just made a donation on PayPal. Thank you so much. I am happy to. Keela says that's sweet. Oh, you don't have any spare money? I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh, you know, you're not alone, Keelis. And if everyone here, we've got 5 people watching. Keelis, I hope you can feel the loving energy that we send you. I'm going to draw something called a Prima Agni. It's called a Prima Agni. It's a symbol, which if you Google, well, I'm right here on Derek O'Neill's. So the program is the Prima Agni Healing System. I'm going to send you Prima Agni because the world is hurting. A lot of people are suffering with COVID, you know, all around the world. So this link is to Derek O'Neill's website. He channeled, he brought through the Prima Agni, which is a symbol, and you will see it now. It's nice to sit and listen. Absolutely. So this is the Prima Agni. Now, are you okay for me to send it to you? And if everybody sends you some love and healing and loving energy, because that's what we're here for. We're here to uplift one another. So let me know. I won't send it if you don't want it. And you can certainly find out more about the Prima Agni on that website. So Ali, thank you for making a donation. Let me know. Sure, please, she says. Okay. So it's a four-step process to draw the Prima Agni. I kind of wish that I had it here in front of me. Here it is. I'm going to draw it. There's a triangle. There's 9 strokes to the lightning bolt. There's a love heart. And then there are little hands. This is what it looks like. It's the sweetest thing. So this symbol opens your heart chakra and brings down, facilitates healing with the white light of source coming down into you, opening your heart chakra and relieving a lot of worry and stress and all the amazing things that the Prima Agni does. So that's the symbol. So I'm going to draw it. So you draw the triangle first. Anybody can learn to draw this symbol. It's a beautiful, sacred symbol. It's available for everybody. It is channels source energy, which is who we are, what makes us up, what animates us is this energy, right? Triangle, 9 strikes the lightning bolt. I hope I got that right. There's 9, and then a line all the way down, then a beautiful love heart, and the tip of the bottom of the love heart hits the tip of that triangle all the way down. That's the 3rd step, and then 2 little arms across, and I'm just going to blow it to you. Here we go. Enjoy. Look at those love hearts. A little stick person with a heart head. That's perfect. And often we'll draw a couple of eyes and a big smile in there, right? Let me show you. A little stick. It's exactly what we do. Right? A little stick person with a happy heart, right? I'll get my head out of the way. Let's see if we can focus in on the Prima Agni. Oh, look at the smile. Oh, wonderful. So you've got that link. You can find out more about it and go and learn all about the Prima Agni. And, you know, good energy is free and we can give it to ourselves. Bad energy is also free. We can give that to ourselves. So we make a choice as to what we want to share, right? Our unconscious programs for some of the, you know, negative things that we experience, until they become conscious and until we have, oh, I could cry, until we have that surge of this habit needs to change right now. There those patterns, right? And a lot of the times when I'm reading the tarot, I often pick up on these programs because we have them. We're human. We're here to kind of work on them and identify them and see them. Ali, let me know what kind of a reading you want. Let me know if you want a general reading. Let me know if you want if you have a specific question. I'm happy to do a general. You know me, I like to do the center of the Celtic Cross. If I can find my trusty, I'll show you all what the Celtic Cross looks like in the November, fall and spring tarot workshops. Let's have a look. This is the Celtic Cross. So we all learn, isn't that great? Now we have it. So the Celtic Cross has 10 cards. Okay, and the center of these cards really is all about you, and then these ones are kind of about you, your community, your hopes and fears, and an outcome. But I like to do the center. There's only 6 cards, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it can often tell you quite a lot about a person. But that's the classic Celtic Cross. This comes inside the book. This is the little booklet that comes in with your Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck, which is the one that I recommend you learn on. It doesn't have to be the Smith-Waite. It can just be any of the Rider-Waite-Smith, the traditional, designed by Arthur E. Waite back in the turn of last century, right? 19th going into 20th. Ali, I just saw your question. It turns out one of the guys I like has a girlfriend. Will their relationship last? Well, based on the way that we have read, those guys are either thinking or feeling about you, right? So I understand your question. Your question is, well, if this person's thinking this way about me and has a girlfriend, well, how long will their relationship last? So let's have a look at that. Now, when I'm tapping into someone else, I'm tapping into them through you. So I'm not going to get a full energetic picture, and I'm probably going to touch a little bit on how you're feeling, right? So what I'll do is I'll bring in, do you have an initial? Would that be helpful? Or even if you have an initial that's not necessarily them, but something that symbolizes them, so that you're holding their energy your mind as we throw the cards down. Can you do that for me? Yeah, I understand. It's better than nothing. Yeah, A. Okay, so we're going to pull in A. I'm going to ask to read A's energy. And we're also looking at another relationship, right? I mean, the truth is that we know that you're headed for a relationship. Because how do we know that? You're thinking about one. You're desiring one. And when you're desiring a relationship, it's more than likely going to happen unless you're holding on to, you're either grasping for it or creating some other resistance in your energy that's unconscious that you don't know about, i.e. you've had bad relationships in the past and you're like, when I get a relationship, I'm always hoping for it to be different, but then it ends up being the same, or there's something else in, creating resistance in the signal that goes out to the universe about, hey, thank you for please send me that relationship that I know you've created for me. The universe's job is just to create, right? And we as co-creators are the ones that send out that idea of creation. Hey, I want a relationship. And the universe says, yes, of course. Hey, I'd like a cup of coffee. And the universe says, yes, here it is. And then there's always an action. Is there an action? There's always some inspired action. But before that, you have to come into a place of source connection. You have to go blank. You have to go into a place of like nothingness. And in that nothingness, there's a receiving, like a vacuum. You create a vacuum, right? And if you're constantly reaching, you're not creating a vacuum. If you're constantly reaching, then what happens is you're creating like a positive energy that repulses. If you think of 2 magnets, right? So a magnet needs, a positive here and a negative here, and the 2 will attract. So if you've got a mag being here, if you're attracting in the same way, then you repel. You end up it's a repelling energy. If you have to become opposite to a reaching, grasping energy. You have to go into a receiving energy, and a receiving energy is very, very quiet. Don't know why I've gone on about that, but Ali, I'm going to pick a card for you right now. It may be related to your question. Okay, but here we go. We're looking at A and A's relationship. A's girlfriend and A's relationship. Okay. So, all right. The question was, will they break up? Will their relationship last? Oh, right. Now, I like to be very specific when I ask questions of the tarot. Will the relationship last? Yes or no? So what I have here is a card that's moving forward. So I'm being shown movement. So the answer to me would be, because it's also a positive card, meaning there's a lot of light here, here the figure is sitting in a chariot and they're about to move off. They could be moving or they could be stationary. So whatever's going on in the relationship, and I did see that they, right? His girlfriend's not happiest in the relationship, but if you see that, when you see that a girlfriend's not happy in a relationship, it should be a warning signal, right? Why would this girlfriend not be happy in this relationship? And that's a good question to ask. What is it about A and the relationship? Is it the girlfriend? Is it A? What's going on for them? Now, this is the sort of the relationship at the moment. Well, they're together and it seems all right at the moment. So there's the number 6 card. This is A, this is the girlfriend, and this is the relationship. And then we asked, will the relationship last? Well, the Chariot, very positive. So I have to say, well, now the next question, the one that I asked before, was, will they break up? Okay. And because this is a negative, this card has sort of suffering and, grief, this acts as a no, right? So at the moment, right, the energy with A, despite what he thinks about you, which is what we've thought about before, right? So here is how someone can be split. Someone can be in a relationship and thinking about somebody else and not really be in their truth of where it is that they're standing. We don't know what's going on for A. Nobody knows what goes on in somebody else's head and in their emotion and their psyche, and it's not our business to know, right? What's more important is you, Ali. So what's going on for you as you're reaching for this relationship? What are you holding on to? i.e., now that this person has a girlfriend, right, and is unavailable, right? There's an unavailability sticker over there. What is it that you're reaching for? What is it that propels you to reach for that which is unavailable? Is it a past pattern? Is it something that you're used to doing, saying, oh, well, I can't have it now, I want it more? Or, I've always kind of gone after unavailable people. Well, why is that? Is there something that's unavailable in me? Am I being shown something? Or is it that there was a role model that I had in my life, either past relationships or parental relationships or relationships with teachers? We have so many people we come into contact with who shape, all those experiences shape the way we are in relationship. I mean, most importantly, parents, but then significant figures in your life can also have an impact and create a way of being in relationship. So the question now comes to you, Ali. So she says, okay, I see. That's really interesting. You've been working on yourself. Well done. You try to see what holds you back. Yeah. So here is this guy. You know he's unavailable. That's something right? It's not the card is saying no. And what we've got is this situation where you're reaching. So my next question would be, what do I need to satisfy in myself to fill my cup up right now? When I'm reaching for that relationship, I'm hoping that relationship to fill me, right? And because you have the time, because you're here on this channel and we're talking about it, would you be willing to ask the question, how can I fill up my own cup when you're working? And we don't have another question. So, and me, hi. How are you? I'm taking $10 donation in exchange for a question. The links are all in the description and also in the comments. If you go up, there's several ways to pay. All of your money, 100% of the proceeds go to Friends of Creacon program, which is in Ireland. It's a retreat center. I recommend and highly recommend you read all about them. The $10 that you send, you will receive energy back from this incredible place called Creacon Wellness Retreat. So if you want to let me know that you've paid, and I will very happy to answer your question. So here we go. Should we ask that question, Ali? I don't want to put questions in your mouth. What can I do to fill my own cup? Now, the tarot and spirit, okay, the tarot has given us this card. So this card is the one that talks about, it's a number 5. So for those of you who've been studying the tarot, the number 5 is always the challenge. Now, we don't need to shy away from challenge, but when the challenge comes, it does sometimes feel disappointing. It's like, oh, look at that. We've spilt the cups. The cups have spilt. You know what? Don't cry over spilt milk, they say, right? So this card almost illustrates this very well. But what you've got pouring out of the cups is some kind of wine or water or even poison has been sort of stipulated by people who read the cards. What has spilled? Should we be happy or sad that these cups have spilled? Well, if it was poison, we're not going to be sad. We're going to be happy. But we don't know. Is it wine? Is there blood? Has blood been spilled, right? These cups are emotional, represent emotions. And because we're dealing with the array of emotions, then we're going to, these are challenging emotions. So because we ask the question, what do you need to do to fill your own cup? When you are experiencing challenging emotions, or if you have experienced challenging emotions in relationship, you're being asked by spirit, right, to look at life, right, with the half cup full mentality. Because this is if you look at this card, is split in two. I'm going to have the little happy Prima Agni symbol there. So this is the glass is half full, and this is the glass is half empty. You see this guy, he's got a black cloak. He's not looking at you or her, right? He or her. And, you know, they feel far away from the castle and kind of separated, maybe lonely. These trees look like they're blowing in the wind. So there's kind of thoughts in there too, kind of creating more difficult emotions. Thoughts and emotions go together. We know that. And so are you the glass is half empty, or your glass is half full? And I feel what Spirit is encouraging you to do is to turn around, change your perspective, okay, by focusing on the positive. Now, is that something that you've done in past relationships? Have you been able to focus on the positive even when looking at past relationships? So you say, okay, well, these relationships that I've had in the past, I've learned A, B, C, D. Well, that's looking at a positive, right? Instead of looking at all the stuff that went on that made them, you know, that made the relationship end, you're going to look at, hey, but, you know, I had a relationship with so-and-so, and I learned 1, you know, all about boundaries. 2, where I draw my line, or where I say, hey, that behavior is not, you know, something I want to continue, or even with my own behavior, I don't want to act like this anymore in this relationship. So you've never been in a relationship. So Rebecca, you did. Thank you so much for reminding me. Yes, you may ask a question. Absolutely. Because we didn't even get round to it. And you sent in $20, Rebecca. So I'm very happy, and we could, I would love for you to ask a question. Thank you. So you've never been in a relationship. So that's been meaning relationship, you know, boyfriend, girlfriend, right? Keela said, you're lucky, you don't need one. All right. So we're going, but you know, when my twins were born, I remember looking at this sort of fresh, human and it felt like the reason we come into being, right, into physicality, into this 3-dimension where we touch, feel everything, right? And that we really feel our feelings, and we have the physical touch, and it's very intense compared to what we're told is on the other side. It is not as intense, right? The physicality is not it's not present, therefore it's not as intense. But this idea of coming into this physical world to be in relationship. So those first relationships we have are with the people that gave birth to us, right? Our mothers, our fathers that brought us into being with our mothers, other figures in our lives that have, been important, uncles, aunties, cousins, And so these relationships that we have with them are the relationships that we're talking about here, right? Have these relationships been happy relationships, right? Or have they been ones that have created sadness and pain for you, right? And so when you're looking at these relationships, you want to say, well, what's my foundation? How do I think and feel? And what do I believe about relationships? What was I fed? What was the belief running or the currency running in my household that, relationships are difficult or they're chaotic, or I'm not picking this up intuitively. I'm just kind of throwing it out there, right? So that is a long time, says Ali. Oh, hang on. Keela says, I've been with someone for 26 years. Love is a blessing and a curse. Well, there's the good and bad in everything. And isn't it true that you've got we're living in this 3rd dimension where there is duality. And in this 3-dimension, this duality, we have to become completely one with both the good and the bad, meaning that we've experienced both. And if we don't reject one or the other, and we allow ourselves to feel both in the same sort of capacity, and some would even say, or the Buddhists say, to detach from being overly excited about one or the other, or overly rejecting one or the other, if we can come into that sense of equanimity, right? That's something that I'm working on, certainly not there. Equanimity. I'm hoping, I'm praying that meditation will help me get there, right? That's the promise. The promise is that you could slow down enough, slow your consciousness down enough that you are one with Source, and that you are then able to see emotions as they rise and decide whether or not you want to milk them. Right? That's the plan. How we deal with our emotions is really, really important. And so one last thing I'll say, Ali, is that not only is your, the way that you think about relationships and having relationships really changing, because you wouldn't have manifested this card if it wasn't something that was already happening. And once you come into more of this vibration, you're going to find yourself attracting people who are available, right? So there are 2 5s here. And I would say these 2, both the thinking that you have about and the emotions that you've had about relationships that you've experienced in the past, are holding, that pattern of having people who are not. So you say you're desiring a relationship, but actually your energy is keeping the available relationships away because of some kind of thought or emotion attached. You're sad. I'm sad for you too. There is, however, a way for you to break free of that, right? So, he's in a relationship and you are telling the universe, hey, isn't it great that I have become, I have this love interest. Now, universe, can you please deliver me someone who's actually available? Because the universe is going to deliver you another love interest that's available if you're available too. Does that make sense, Ali? Like, that's the clinch. So once you become available, then you're going to attract an available person for relationship. There's a type of relating that you need to walk away from. So that's something that you're going to do in your inner work. That's something that you're working on yourself, you said. And if you work on this, this is the key, right? So I pulled a card on what would you need to do to have that shift from attracting an unavailable person to attracting an available person. There's a type of relating that, and an emotional relating, that you have to let go of, right? So this is the card for you. And if you study it a little, let's have a look at what the I haven't read from the book in a very long time, but let's have a read of the 8 of Cups. 4, 3, here we go. The 8 of Cups. A man of dejected aspect is deserting the cups of his felicity, enterprise, undertaking, or previous concern. So it's clear that it's in the past. So what you're doing is saying to yourself, well, I need to find that one way of relating that has created, drama in my relationships, or that I see in the relationships that I've had in the past, meaning relationships with parents, or even if you're looking at the way they related to one another, it sits as a program and you want to be able to pin it and say, you know what, I'm not going to do that. So the card speaks for itself on the surface, but other readings are entirely, so you have about giving yourself joy, about honoring yourself, honoring your emotions, honoring your boundaries. That's what this card is all about, right? So I wish you well, Ali. I really do. You've just got a little bit of that extra work to do, which you're already doing. And actually, I'll pull one more card. So if you were to do that work, if you were to actually drop that way of emotional being, the available person come. And that's a yes, right? So we pinned it. There's an emotional program that is in you, that, I believe a belief system or a thought system, right, that's keeping you attracting unavailable people. And here, if you were to find that and kind of deprogram, walk away from that kind of programming consciously, and you have this promise of walking, this is a yes, right? This is the universe delivering you an available man. Something about your emotions. So it's actually a currency of emotion. So if you were to look at either the way that your parents related emotionally, and this is what we would do in an hour-long reading, for example, we would start to pick away. So what is it exactly? Can we pinpoint exactly what it is that's holding you back from an available relationship? That 8 of Cups is a very important card, and I would, if I were you, research it so that you can see how you can relate it to yourself. If you don't want to pay for a full reading with me, either a half hour or a 60-minute. Also 90 minutes. So depending on, whether you want to work on something, then we can work on it, or you would seek out some help, right, from a therapist, a counselor, someone who can help you work on this part of yourself in relationship. And it's not something to be ashamed of. It's actually something that is helpful. If you go into a counselor and you say, hey, I want to work on this, I keep attracting unavailable I attract unavailable men. I want to work on that and I want to get rid of it. Then you're actually helping. Not only are you conscious of what the obstacle is, but you are saying, hey, I have this short-term goal. I want you to help me get there. And the person on the other side, this therapist, counselor, whoever you see, is very grateful because they're like, fantastic. We've got the goal post in the sand and we know exactly what we're reaching for, right? Boundaries and stuff. Absolutely. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is, Ali. All right, Rebecca. Thank you so much, Ali. Thank you so much for donating. That $10 will come right back to you like a boomerang in great energy from Creacon Wellness Retreat. And because you've donated so much, you've donated quite a bit over the weeks, that will be quite a sum. So I really hope you feel the goodness coming back to you. And Creacon wins too, right? Everybody wins. Win, win, win. I'm happy to be reading the tarot. I'm uplifted by contacting with spirit. So here's Rebecca. I'm looking at names for a website that is about what Lou Willie, my sweet rescue dog, who is just the sweetest cutie pie ever. I've met him. What your rescue dog and I will offer to individuals, groups, businesses, and schools. Wow. do you have any ideas? Because we could do a comparison spread, or what I could do is I could pick a card and see if there's anything in the card that kind of pops up as a, as a potential name, right? I'm looking for names for a website. So here we go. Here we go. Rescue love. That's already popping into my head. So we're going to let spirit speak. Here we go. I'm going to pick one card to see if we have anything coming through about a name for your website. So in this card, we have the primary colors. We have that beautiful growth, right? And the tree. We have and anything else about our working together, absolutely. So this card is really quite something. This is all about surrender, yeah? And so if I was to think, so the words that are coming up are primary, grounded, growth. Let's write some of these down. Primary, grounded, growth, there's a backbone. And it feels also like Lou Willie's name wants to be in there somewhere, right? So, Rebecca, I have a program called Baby Naming Experience. So this is how I named my children. And you and I have used that program to create a numerological number with a high vibration. And we could definitely do that. I'd be quite happy to, have a call with you, and we could just throw some names into that computer program and see what we come up with. Would you like to do that one day? Karina, hello. Evan, hello. Welcome. So to offer individuals. So I'm getting, it's almost like, Lou Willie's. Grounding touch, or Lou Willie's growth, Lou Willie's healing presence, or there's something about Lou Willie's name that's very, very, hey, welcome. So Lou Willie came in, and I don't remember what I first said in terms of the first thing that came through spirit. And let's have a look. And it also feels like, you're going to have very simple primary colors in this. So this is around the website, right? And, this justice card has come up, and I see a lot of passion and healing. And, could very well be that you're going to be opening doors into other dimensions. So people will visit the website, they'll see and meet Lou Willie's energy almost immediately. I'm kind of seeing a huge picture of Lou Willie on the front page, right, as either the first thing people see when they hit there, and then the name, Lou Willie's, healing century. And sanctuary. So sanctuary is another word. I'm just writing all these down because they're coming in. Definitely the word healing too. So healing, grounded, growth, primary, and I think there's a backbone. Did we say backbone? Although that's quite a clunky word. But anyway, we'll see. Using synonyms online is something that I also do when I'm choosing names. I'm sure you too. And let's answer the other part of that question, Rebecca. Anything else to know about our working relationship? This is your and Lou Willie's working relationship. I mean, is there not a better card for a working relationship? This is the card for twin souls. This is the card for meeting a business partner or someone who's like vibrationally absolutely one-on-one with you. So this is the kind of person that you would want to meet to go into business with. So Lou Willie is actually a perfect business partner for you. This is wonderful. And this is, as you know, this is the symbol, the medical caduceus symbol, that is the two snakes intertwined. And remember, you've got the Shushumna channel, the Pingala, and the is it Nadi and Pingala? I'm terrible. I can't remember it. So the Pingala. I'm just going to look it up right now so that we can make sure that we get it right. The Pingala, Nadi. There are three main nadis, right? So this is in the health science of Ayurveda. The Pingala Nadi is, here we go. Travels the length in and out of the 7 chakras. So you can see, right? I'll just get back on the live page. So you can see this intertwining. I know they only intertwine 1, 2, 3, 4 points here, but in the chakra system, in the sort of Ayurvedic chakra system, these two, the masculine and the feminine, intertwine all the way down in the 7 chakras. And because they're doing that, they're lifting energy. And you know, acupuncture, for example, clears these channels. Meditation clears these channels. Oh, no problem. Hey. So if you're listening the whole time, then I'll just say your name. And if you've got the question already set out for me, I'll just start answering it. So anything else to know about your working together? So your work together will be very healing, not only for the both of you, but for everybody who comes to meet this connection that you two have. It's a twin soul connection. It's very powerful. You can see the product of this, and also the fact that you connect to, you know, this symbol, the lion courage, but also the angelic wings attached to the lion, which mean that you're connecting to spirit and the divine in a very courageous way, in a very strong way, because we know lions are very strong when they need to be, but also very, very quiet and very incredibly peaceful and calm, right? When they're purring, they're like in touch with source energy. So this energy is very, very powerful, go very high, very, very low in terms of its capacity to facilitate healing. So very, very powerful. This, I think you already knew this, right? Something you already know. And yet here it is to say, I'm validating this experience of yours. It's coming, it's obvious, it's clear. And what are you going to do together? Right now you're at the stage of, and obviously because we're still in a pandemic and it hasn't quite completely cleared, and once people are moving out there, and I think I remember this card when we did a reading before, that here it is that you're already planning. This is you on the World Wide Web with the website address that you're creating, and you already planning where you're going. So you already have one idea. Let's see how many there'll be, what things that you'll do together. So let's have a look. I'm just going to pull out cards for how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So definitely 3. So it looks like you and Lou Willie will be involved in at least 3 projects that will have a lot to do with the healing that's coming through, that's coming about because of your union. And it may be, stay open, and I know you are, it may be that this union that you have with Lou Willie, it may not just be about being with people and organizations. It could also be something like, I mean, this randomly popped into my head, where you're doing like commercials, or you know, you and Lou Willie being in this space of just your energy going into all kinds of, you know, collateral places, right? So it's a fantastic path for you, and it's meant to be. And look at this. It's almost like in these clouds, Louise came out from spirit to be in your life and to help you walk this amazing path that you walk as a healer, as a teacher, and as a master hypnotherapist. Actually, this is something people should know. So Rebecca, can you tell us about your current website? I know Creacon for you and Willie, but please let people know what your current website is. And, the number of healing modalities that is remarkable. Rebecca runs group workshops. She does a particular healing technique called havening, along with the Rising Star Healing that I've mentioned earlier and I've experienced with Rebecca. Louise is a huge presence of love and healing, absolutely. Hi, Jenny. Thank you for coming. This is awesome. You're writing them down. So you and I will get together, Rebecca, and we'll sort of put into the program, and we'll feed a whole bunch of these letters in and see what comes up with a really high name vibration. I'm super excited. And for anyone who wants to do that for themselves, for their own business, the website is babynamingexperience.com, babynamingexperience.com, or something of that sort. It's not my program. It's just that I used that program, and I think you can pay something like $30 to use the program and stick names into the computer, and then generate a numerological explanation of what this baby is going to be like in terms of personality, in terms of challenges. And once you have that, you're like, okay, do I want a business that's named like this, in the same way that I was saying when I was looking for names for my children? Oh, do I want a baby with a name like this? I'm so happy, Rebecca. Thank you so much. And we'll chat this week. So, hey, I'm so happy. I think someone else said that they paid. Let's have a look. Was it Evan? Let me know where you donated, Evan. I am getting some notifications. I do. Sorry to go quiet on you there, but I was waiting for my computer to. Oh, there it is. Now, I'm just going to jump on to Hei's question. You're at work right now. It's very hard to comment, but my question is about my uncle, more like brother, just passed. Oh, hey, I'm so sorry to hear that. Sorry for your loss. Will my family see his children soon? And does he have a message for them? All right. Well, let's see if I can tap into his presence. Hey, let me know his name. Although if you're on and you can't comment, that's okay. I'll try to tap into him. I'll do my best. For those who have been following, I am studying with Gloria Wykand. Gloria Wykand. She's a psychic medium, very experienced woman. Her website is griefmedium.com. And I am in a 2-year-long studying internship with a wonderful group of people. That includes Lauren Fox, who's an amazing psychic medium. She's already doing readings for people who are coming in to her work. But Gloria is all about evidential mediumship. And because we have the time, I was going to talk about the nights. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. I think we'll have it at a time. We'll to talk about the knights, the queens, and the kings in the court cards of tarot. So what can we say about will Hei see his children, right? Soon. This is a card that generally indicates time. So the answer is yes, but it may not be very soon, right? So let's say how soon. We've got the King of Wands. I'm going to go by days or weeks. Let's do weeks. 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. So I got an ace I suspect you'll hear from them if you were to contact them. Can you call them? I mean, this is something like seeing them. So contact with them seems a lot quicker. Maybe you would have a phone call or a FaceTime, and see them is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This came up in the position number 5, 5 weeks. I don't know if that somehow fits in with what you were thinking anyway, but this is where there seemed to be an opening around 5 weeks. But soon, I got soon. This was the first week. I thought maybe not as soon as I thought. This is the yes card for me. Will you see them soon? Yes, but how soon, right? That was the question. How soon? You're going to hear from them, in 1 week, and then in 5 weeks, see them, maybe see them, touch them. I don't know where they live. Maybe they live far away. So, Georgia, what does the 7 of Wands mean? So the 7 of Wands is remember the wands are fire in action. So when we're picking up the 7 of Wands, it's like someone who's finding a relationship a little bit difficult, because that was when we were looking at him in the relationship. Or I'm not sure if I'm remembering correctly, but I can't remember whose card that was. That might have been his, right? So, it's kind of like when you're fighting for your beliefs. If you remember, the figure has run out of their house in a hurry. They've got half their shirt undone. They've got a sock on one foot and a shoe on the other without a sock. And they've just obviously surprised about all these people coming up with the sticks, who you presume there are people below the cliff where this person's standing on, who are kind of shoving the sticks up, giving this person a bit of a fight. But the good news is that this person's on top. So they have the power in the relationship, right? So 7s generally, if, the 6s tend to be about power and success, and 7s are usually about an extra challenge to get yourself moving to the 8 and the 9, where you've got completion. So 7 means a little bit of extra work. So you thought you had it down at 6, but 7 says, well, you need to do a little extra work. So it's possible he feels that the relationship is a bit of work. Does that make sense? That would be how I best read it. But coming back to Hey, here we go. Hey. I'm going to close my eyes, and I'm going to kind of ignore you all for a bit, because I want to connect to Hey's uncle. And let's have a look. Here we go. I'm going to put down the way we do it in my mediumship class is we ask for spirit to give us evidence. We want to see if there's a male or female, or at this moment, we're asking for a male to become present. We want a name or an initial, right? We don't have a Hey's uncle's name, so we're going to ask for a name or an initial. We're going to ask for a year. I'm going to see if I can get a feel for his personality, because what we want to do is make sure that we're connecting with the right person. Sometimes when I'm connecting, I end up connecting to, a great uncle or someone we don't want to hear from. So let's make sure that we're connecting with the person we want to hear from. We ask them to put a special gift in our hand. We want to know a place, maybe a song. The kids are in another state, and mum is keeping her away from our side of the family. Well, we got 5 weeks, and even within a week, there might be something, because I had that 6 of cups, which, remember, 6s are like successes. I can't pull it up again, but that's what I had for the 1 week. There seemed like a little window at 1 week, and definitely at 5 weeks. And the King of Wands, remember when I pick a card for timing, and of course so if I can say this about intuition, people are at best 80%, and some of the best psychics ever studied, now these are people that have been scientifically studied, are those who've been studied in the remote viewing scientific experiments done by the CIA and people like Russell Targ, right? You want to look up Russell Targ, because this guy he's a scientist who investigated psychics who could tap into information that was far and away from them. And the psychics were in a darkened room, and the only information they ever had about these places that they were tapping very far away into, they only had like a number. So they were given this randomly generated number, and then they had to generate all this information based on this number, but they were tapping in intuitively. And I think at best they had some of their best psychics were getting things 90% accurate. So that's probably the best you could ever be at, and that's a psychic that's been scientifically tested. So in terms of accuracy, with just a run-of-the-mill kind of person that's tapping into their intuition, like me reading the tarot, I've been practicing for a while, but I would say I'm somewhere between like 60 and 70%, right? And I'm not going to be right, maybe even between 50 and 60. Right. So what I'm really good at, I think, is that being able to gain clarity, because I make myself ask the right questions. And when I'm presented with a pie, I kind of take out the ingredients. I discover the ingredients and I say, hey, these are the ingredients. Now what do we do with them? What do you want to make with these ingredients? Because you've created a pie. Do you want to keep creating a pie? This is the kind of the work that we do together when we're doing a tarot reading. And again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not I put information about disclaimer at the beginning. These tarot readings are for entertainment purposes only. If you need any help from a lawyer or a financial person, although we talk about all of these things, money, health, relationships, finance, you really need a professional. And I would highly recommend, if you have a problem that needs solving, that you contact someone who has those skills to get their information from. That's why I was recommending, a therapist or a counselor earlier for Ali when we were talking about relationship, right? Because you want to be able to really set the goal and then reach it with the help of someone, particularly if we're having difficulty getting there on our own. So coming back to Hey, I'm going to close my eyes now. I'm going to see if I can tap into her uncle's energy and see if he turns up what he tells us. So bear with me while I do this. I'm going to take 3 deep breaths. I'm going to connect in, ignore you all a little bit. Forgive me. Here we go. So I'm immediately seeing a male with a mustache. I don't know if your uncle had a mustache, but I'm seeing a male with a mustache, and he's kind of on the younger side. I don't get him a lot older because I see he has dark hair and his mustache is also dark. He's giving me, so 1953 is a number that he's giving me. An initial, I'm getting an F. Now, when I get an initial, it may not be the name of your uncle. It might be someone that your uncle knows or someone in the family. His personality. So I have him on the shorter side. So you say he was 33. Oh, that is young. Okay. So let me just see if I can feel his personality. So I'm going to ask him to come a little closer. So I get a very youthful energy around him, right? And I get the sense that, he was youthful and playful with his children. Or maybe there was a part of him that was a little bit immature, but I kind of get that sense, or I'm certainly seeing him as very, very youthful on the inside, as well as what you've already said, the outside. He was only 33. Just tapping in a little more. Now, Spirit's showing me a symbol. So somehow he got himself in a bit of a knot. Now, this doesn't have anything to do with how he passed, although it might, but I don't know if this is how he was in life. He loved his kids. It looks like he was great with his kids. That's the feeling he gave me, is that he was great with his kids and he had a youthful energy. That's awesome. I got a color green. When I get the color green, I'm going to ask him about his passing. So in the color green, this is like involving the lungs or heart, because green is around the heart chakra, and in the heart chakra area, we have our lung cavity, ribs, we've got, you know, bones, but also a lot of organs. So I would say what I'm receiving from him is that either just before his passing, that something was going on in his lung or his heart area. But I also get him showing me his nose. For some reason, he's showing me his nose, or that there was something to do with his nose. He's showing me that he would put like a he overdosed. Was that with his nose? I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm really very sorry for your loss. Hey. So that the overdose may have done something to his heart and lungs. Okay. So I have him here. I'm going to ask him to put something in my hand that both you and he would know about. You love him so much. I'm just going to tap into him now and see if he can give me something that both you and he would know. So he's showing me a van, like a car, and I don't know if I saw surfboards on it, or maybe my mind added surfboards, but I do see a van, like a car. That's what he's giving me. I'm not sure if that's something that you and he can connect to, or this is what he's just showing me as a gift. And I'm just going to tap in. He gave me the feeling that he had gotten himself into a so that was that knot that I was seeing. He'd gotten himself into like a knot. There was something that he had tied so tight that he didn't feel like he could that it could release, and that he is free now on the other side in spirit. He's absolutely completely, you know, free in his person and his body, and he's relating the way that he was as in the past tense, that he's no longer experiencing any of that. I also feel he's bringing down the light. He's kind of showing me this column of light coming down, and I feel like him on the other side is realizing how much light there is, and I feel like he's doing that for the family, given that there is this miscommunication. But I just saw him pulling down the light, and clearly he has a lot of love for everybody, not just his own sort of personal family. And I feel that there's definitely, from his perspective, where he's bringing and wanting and desiring and also helping facilitate some of this healing love coming into the family, because he literally showed me this column of light, or this bringing down of the light into the family. I'm not sure if this is what he used to do for his work, or, you know, he worked in his life, but he's putting like a pencil. This may be a symbol. You know, my uncle used to be a builder, and there'd always be a pencil in his ear where they'd be measuring things. This could also be a message about him kind of working on it. I think you can remain confident that he loves his family. He loves everyone so much that he's working on it, you know, in spirit, wanting to create this togetherness. And he's just wanting me to, you know, I'm feeling a lot of love coming from him to you, and I'm feeling this now. So I thank you for letting me contact your uncle in spirit. He's really quite a beautiful beautiful soul. I got to feel the love that he has for his children and for all of you, and how he's working to bring the family together. And I pray for you, and I hope for you that happens. Hey. And I wish all of you, and sending you and his family and your family so much love. Simon, hello. I'm taking questions. If you want, I'm very sorry to hear about your dog. Oh, I'm so happy. Hey, that's really great. It was wonderful to meet your uncle in spirit. I'm going to pull out the knights because we have some time. So for anybody, and haven't we met some amazing people tonight? Rebecca, do you have your website? If you have your website, please let us know what your website is. And I know you and Lou Willie will be creating a new one. But for anyone who would love to feel the healing energy that channels through Rebecca Suzanne Scott, please let us know. Or maybe you've already put your website up there. Maybe I didn't see. So here we go. We're not taking any more questions. What we're going to do now is we're going to fly through the nights. So for those of you who are studying the tarot, pull out your cards because we're going to do the knights and the queens, and then next week we'll do the kings, I think. We'll probably have time then. Here we go. There's the queens, the kings. We did the pages last week, the beautiful young pages, and we'll do the knights today who were on their horses coming in to save the day, as the knights do. Knight in shining armor. Oh, sure you can, Ali. if you've AG, hi, thanks for coming along. So I'm taking, it's $10 to ask a question. 100% of the proceeds go to Friends of Creacon. You'll read about it all in my description. Friends of Creacon is a program that Creacon Wellness Retreat runs. We've got the king here. We've got another king. We've got the pages, the knight. Sorry, it's a little boring for you all while I'm pulling out my cards. But if you have your cards, please pull them out. Let's do this together. Pull all the cards out and we can learn about the knights. Here we go. One of my favorites, the Knight of Swords. I was rushing to help, rushing to offer a helping hand. How did I miss all the queens? Here we go. Sure. Absolutely. There we go. Oh, there's a queen. No, that's the nine of wands. There's the queen of swords. We've got the queen. We need the queen of cups. I bypassed her. I'm so sorry. We've got 2 pages and we're missing one of the knights. There's the knight. That was the other guy. The queen of cups coming. There she is, the Queen of Wands. Okay, we have the 4 knights, starting with the Knight of Wands. Look at this guy. Remember in the wands, we have the 3 pyramids indicating the, it's a very dry, arid scene because we've got a lot of fire in the wands. So all of the fire, astrological fire signs are in these ones. We've got the salamanders, which are also fire and passion. We've got fire coming off the top of his helmet and off his, this is a very passionate guy. This guy's going to come in and he's going to help you. And we know that it's an action happening. The horse is in action. It's up on its hind legs. We don't know if this is a good action or a bad action or what's going to happen once this guy arrives. And sometimes because he's like a burning volcanic ash, he comes in and destroys everything, or he comes in and makes everything better, right? Because the energy of this is just a very it's a energy of transformation and like quick transformation, because the wands are very fast. And remember, we have this very spiritual scene here, the 3 pyramids, that of manifestation. So if you want to create change and overnight change, this is the man this is the Knight of Wands. This is the one you bring into your life. The Knight of Swords, remember the swords are air, intellect, intuition. Look at how fast he's rushing in. If you remember the pages last week, which is very stationary, very stationary. They were just like, I'm waiting to start. I'm a beginner. I'm right here and I'm ready. And they were youthful and young. And here the knights are like much more experienced. They're in their teens, they're in their 20s, and they've had some experience under their belt, and they know what to do with their suit. And we've got the wind blowing with the the clouds are being, there's a wind rushing, and there's if you remember the page of swords had some birds above his head. So this knight is in action based on his thought. He's acting very quickly, right? These are fast thoughts, fast action based on thoughts. Now, could he be making a mistake? Could he be sort of jumping the gun? Possibly, right? So the knights are always coming with a bit of caution, right? Because they're acting so quickly. They're always in motion. As certainly the wands and the swords are in motion. And you can see the swords, he's going to have, let's see, with these butterflies, these are birds. So you can see he has birds. Now, I think this is a peacock even, if you can see this one. It's a peacock. I'm going to try to get out of the way. There it is. Look at this bird right here. That looks like a peacock.